Hi, this is Kevin Capel from Jet PT Billing. You know, when someone reaches out to us and starts inquiring about outsourcing their billing, probably one of the first questions they ask us or have already asked somebody else, or certainly at least have asked themselves, is why should I outsource our billing? There's a lot of reasons to want to do that. First of all is the cost of staffing. You have to hire somebody to do your billing. Billing has probably got about the longest runway of any position in the practice besides the physical therapist, who has to get trained and licensed and so forth. But to understand the whole process of billing is not an overnight thing. It takes months to train somebody to do that. So you're not only paying somebody their payroll, but you're paying the time to train them. And of course, even before that, you have some expense in marketing and recruiting that person and going through that whole process of deciding who to hire, train them. And then, you know, in billing, things are always changing. The government is always messing things up and changing the regs, or insurance carriers are changing the rules constantly. And so there's always update training that needs to be done to stay up to date, to make sure that we're sending claims out so that they can actually be reimbursed. And then what happens when that person that you've invested all that time and energy into decides they're going to move on to another job, or maybe their spouse is moving on to another job and they're leaving the area, or they're just not doing a very good job and you have to replace them. Now you've got to go through those costs all over again. And what happens to your billing through that transition? So there are those cost factors certainly involved. And then we've got real hard costs of the footprint within the practice, the space that's required. They're going to need a dedicated office to be able to handle their billing, because they're probably going to need to have a place where if somebody has a specific question about their ledger, they're going to want to go to a closed space to discuss that. And then you've got the hardware and software expenses of, now they have to have a terminal with multiple monitors to work from. You have the billing software that you're going to have to either purchase outright and download to your server, or subscribe to and pay a monthly fee to use that service. And there may be an expense for the clearinghouse on top of that. So not only do you have the expense of the employee and everything that goes along with the training, you have hard and fast physical facility and hardware software expenses as well. And so when you look at it over the big picture, oftentimes it makes more sense to just forego those expenses and pay a small percentage of collections to a billing service and let them handle all of that headache. I hope I've handled that question for you. Certainly, please feel free to visit us at jetptbilling.com to ask that or any other questions that you might have, and we'll handle that for you. Thanks for joining me today. Bye-bye.